So my Asus Ally has broke, and for those of you who don't know, that this is a common issue with the SD card slot not reading any of my SD cards, or if I put an SD card in, it makes this system run really slow. So I've had this for roughly about 9 months and I haven't had too much of an issue, but I did realize when doing certain things my CPU was running at 100%. If I just show you, I'm going to pop a SD inside of here and it detects it, it does the sound, but this is supposed to be a 256 gigabyte micro SD card, and now it takes forever to load the Explorer when there's a card in. Normally this should just instantly load up, but it's kind of hanging at the moment. And I have disabled or uninstalled the drivers. I've tried a different driver on the Asus website. Both of those drivers don't work. I even downloaded the MyAsus app and tried to install the SD card drivers there, but it seems to do the same thing. It's still not loading, so I can't actually do anything at the moment with a SD card inside of this. Okay, it's finally loaded, kind of. What's annoying is that I never really used the SD card slot. I did have like an SD card in there, but I didn't actually end up using it, so I didn't put any ROMs or anything, and it still malfunctioned. I did just use like the default operating modes. A lot of people on Reddit were saying that if you use custom TDP settings, then you can actually prevent the system from making the SD card slot too hot. You can mess around with the fan curve and preserve the SD card slot that way, but it's detected the SD card, which is fine. It's taken forever to do that, but I don't know what's happening at the moment. It's glitching out. So only noticed the SD card messing up is when it kept saying to format the SD card even though it had already been formatted, and when I was recording the audio would stutter a lot. There was a lot of CPU usage for no reason, and that's a big dead giveaway that your SD card slot is probably malfunctioned at this point. And no matter what drivers you install, if you uninstall them, even if you reinstall the Windows completely, it won't fix the issue because it's a hardware fault. Okay, I think I need to restart this because it's just not doing anything. Let's give it a hard restart. And annoyingly, I actually installed a 2 terabyte SSD, so the original NVMe is actually in here, and I've just been using it as a USB drive. So what I need to do is take the SSD out of this, put the original one back onto the Asus Rog, reinstall the operating system, and return this or get this fixed. I will probably just return this unit. Let's see if I can actually do anything. Let it warm up a bit. Right, so it actually wasn't doing its thing. I've actually taken out the SD card. But if I go on to device management, so if I right click device manager, so the SD card slot is under memory technology device. So this is actually where your SD card drivers are. Let me try and roll back this driver, see if it does anything. Pop the SD card back inside of the slot. So I followed this Reddit thread here. Some people have said that this has worked for them, and some others say it doesn't. So apparently the Asus site ones are 32-bit and not 64. And it's given us a link to the correct drivers. I tried the Intel thing, and actually I've installed this, and it doesn't actually give me the option to install the drivers on here. But I honestly don't think it's a driver issue at this point. It should just work. This was also posted a year ago. If you have the same issue, you can try and follow this guide if you want to. You can also try My Asus or the My Asus program app. My warranty expired like the 7th, so 2 months, just 2 months ago. So just 2 months before this issue happened. So my warranty actually expired like 2 months ago, which is super annoying. If only I had noticed this before, or I don't know, I think this happened quite recently, but it just malfunctioned right before my warranty expired. So it would cost to get this motherboard repaired. And the stupid thing is that this is supposed to be the Z1 Extreme, the second rendition of the ROG Ally. It's supposed to prevent the SD card malfunction, but it appears that it's still an issue with these. Let me check my disk management because it's actually loading fine. Yeah, it's not reading the SD card, so I rolled back the drivers. That's why it's running smoothly, because nothing's actually coming up. Oh, there it is. However, it's supposed to be a 256 card. It's showing up as a 8 gig raw, and if I try to format this, it's not going to do it. It's going to give me an error. Yeah, if this happens to you, then your ROG Ally SD card is borked and you need to get this fixed. I mean, you can go onto the Asus website, but people are saying that these drivers are not the correct ones. So even if I go on to Armory Crate and update, this should update the BIOS and everything, I think. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, I could try and update the BIOS before. When was the last BIOS update? 07/24. So I could try this as the last resort, but I honestly don't think that this is going to work. But yeah, this is the Asus website, which you can download. Where is it? Drivers and tools. Select which model you have. Go under card reader, and there's actually two. They both said recommended. I guess that they're both different. This one actually didn't do anything. This one reads cards, but when you put a card in, it's super slow. I'm kind of out of luck at the moment. If any of you have the same issue and know a workaround, then you can also comment down below. But I honestly think I just need to return this unit, and I'm not too sure if I'm gonna get a replacement. I feel like I want a different device. So I've been eyeing up the GPD Win Mini 4 is something that I've been looking into as a substitute to this, because I think it has a better chipset, CPU, and it has 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16. It performs similar to the Asus ROG Ally, the Z1 Extreme. Been looking at Legion Go as well, but I feel like it might be a little bit too big with the screen. But I do like the idea of the detachable controllers. But again, very similar performance to this, almost identical. This has better software, and the Armory Crate is a lot easier to navigate through. I do have the GPD Win 3, which I love how portable this is, but this doesn't run a lot of the games that I want it to. So a little bit of an upgrade to this would be perfect. Plus the keyboard is not great. So the Win Mini is something that kind of looks like a laptop, and I think I would like that form factor because it's clamshell. A third option would be the ROG Ally X or the Win Max to the 2024 edition, which has the newer CPU inside. And they're both more expensive than this unit. I'm already losing out like £100 because I'm going to return this. I feel like I'm not going to get a replacement, because if one of these devices have not been repaired before, you're most likely going to have a faulty SD card reader along the lines. For sure, like, it's going to happen just because it's such a bad design choice, where this is right next to the exhaust. This should be like at the bottom. I even bought this case for this. It's a flip out case. I'm going to have to sell this when I get this refunded. So there we go, that's pretty much it. I've not even had this a year yet, and I didn't even use the SD card at all. I just had one plugged in, and the malfunctioning happened. I'm going to give this a BIOS update, see if that changes anything. I honestly doubt reinstall Windows would do much, but that's just a little video just to tell you that this is completely, well, not, I can still use it, it's just I can't use the SD card slot at all, which you know, in the future, if I want to transfer files or put ROMs on this, I want to use the SD card slot and not the main memory, then I'm screwed. Which, you know, you pay for the device for everything to function, and if one thing doesn't work, then what's the point having it when other devices work fine? There we go. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on another video.